2 of what I've been calling the journey of Emma's health and chronic illness. And I don't know why I did that hand motion, but it stuck, so it's staying. So where I ended part 1 was right after I'd seen the pediatric gastroenterologist at the research hospital. Test came back negative. It's kind of like sent on my merry way. My asthma's been fun times, right? And you know, just kind of go live life. We're not going to do anything. / there's nothing we can do. / we don't want to do anything. So the next few years we're rough. I mean, we're talking literally nauseous all the time, which is just a horrible, it's not a good way to live. And you know, eating was hard, and so I kind of like, I was already a picky eater on my food, just kind of like narrowed down, because it was kind of that like concept of like safety foods that I knew I could eat. And I would throw up sometimes. Especially in the mornings, like I said in part 1. I was like I'm 15, I can't be pregnant. I'm not pregnant. It's not possible. I know it's not possible. But it really was like that, like morning sickness. And it was interesting because it would be this thing that if I got, there was this little window of like a really small amount of sleep, but not like too small, but not like 4 to 5 hours. If I got that much, I wasn't really nauseous when I woke up in the morning. Anything around that, whether it was a lot of sleep or a tiny amount of sleep, it was awful. So I just kind of kept up with that, trying to cope, you know, trying everything. Actually, the only thing that really helped were these ginger mints from Trader Joe's, which are actually what you're balanced on. And just kind of rolling with it. So, let me see if I can get this timing right. 2016, yeah, the end of 2016, I had finally just been like, okay, I can't keep doing it like this. You know, I'm coping, whatever, don't really have a choice but to cope, but I need to see a doctor. So we went and saw a naturopath, who I saw for about a year, and another battery of tests came along, did different food things, gluten-free, dairy-free, sugar-free, eventually the Whole30, which is no grains, dairy, beans, sugar, nada, which was really hard for me because my diet was already very limited, due to my picky eating plus, you know, the stomach problems. So whilst on that diet, I actually lost like 35 pounds, which I was really underweight for me, for my body, which was a big emotional struggle because I didn't choose to lose the weight. Like it was because of this diet I had to be on. So that was hard. Let's see if I can remember the tests that we did. A lot of those fun tests we talked about in the last video. I had bacteria overgrowth and yeast overgrowth, and my inflammation numbers were freaking off the charts. Like, wow. So, I mean, the test did show stuff. And that's what the Whole30 diet was supposed to help with, was the inflammation. I was taking some different supplements, digestive enzymes, a variety of other like stomach supporting, GI supporting ones. You know, and things weren't getting better. So we ran some other tests. Like I think I got tested for like E. coli and salmonella, and we eventually settled on, we were going to test me for this thing called SIBO for short, small intestinal bacteria overgrowth, which apparently is pretty common in people with Ehlers-Danlos. Just learned that, so that's interesting. And that is a breath test, which is a weird experience, and it took forever to find a place that would do it. There's like one place in the whole like 40-mile radius from where I live of places that'll do it. So I went and got it done, and then I had an appointment with the naturopath, and she was like, they didn't give us anything valid, so they didn't have like units or base measurements or like anything, so you couldn't even read the results. So that was frustrating. So then we like ordered an at-home test, and I did that, and it did come back positive for SIBO, only slightly, like it was pretty mild, but we had also done another inflammation test, and my numbers had way dropped down, so that those are likely correlated. But I didn't feel any better. Not better at all. Actually, I went through I think the nausea decreased, but intestinal problems increased, so it was like I can't win. So after that, I went on this drug, rifaximin, I believe. It's an antibiotic. Yeah, it's an antibiotic. Really expensive. Insurance wouldn't cover it. Really hard to get. We went through all of that, and we got it, and I took it, and I had a really bad reaction to it. I was so sick. I just like I couldn't move. I had no energy in my body. So after all that, I couldn't take it longer than that. So then we tried some more supplements, and you know, it wasn't too bad of a overgrowth, so she wasn't too worried. I had seen another gastroenterologist in there. Not helpful. Lots of anxiety. It's your anxiety. I was seeing a therapist at this point. Working on that side of things. So now we're at end of summer, fall of 2017. I had been in a relationship for the last 6 months, and it got really bad at the end, and it ended, and I totally threw away the whole strict diet thing, because in my mind it was like, it doesn't even matter if the inflammation is better because I don't feel any different. So I can not be eating the foods I like, have the stomach problems, and be mentally miserable and depressed because of this like isolation from the rest of society that I was in. It was really hard. Or I can eat the foods I like and have the stomach pain and be happy. So that's what I did. And you know, things stayed the same. Then in December of 2017, I ended up at the ER for what was labeled as a panic attack. The jury's still out on that one because it was essentially a conscious seizure, and so I don't know that I'm buying the whole panic attack thing. But I definitely was experiencing mental illness and that. And like I said, I wasn't really going to talk about that, but the rest of 2018, we went into 2018, medication, more medication, and my stomach problems did like nearly entirely go away once I started on medication. So everybody was like, we were right. It's all in your head. So that was kind of just like, in 2018, brief overview, 3 hospitalizations, February, June, July, outpatient programs from February to April, and September to the start of 2019. And now we're going to, that was a whole video on my stomach. So now we'll get to the other stuff, which I think is probably what the person who was asking for, but I feel like this is important, so I'll see you guys in part